Prince Anne is one of the most powerful people in the world, and yet so few people know her dark, twisted history, from kidnapping attempts to incestuous family affairs. Let's just say Prince Anne is not your mother's royal. Anne isn't exactly famous for her warm, sweet persona, and her Brooklyn nature has gotten her into big trouble before. She routinely refuses to pose for photographs with people and doesn't shake regular citizen hands, leading the media to give her the very unflattering nickname Her Royal Rudeness. Granted, her no-nonsense attitude also one got her out of a notorious bind. In this video, we will present shocking facts about Prince Anne. Let's get to the details. On August 15, 1950, Anne Elizabeth Elise Lewis was born in Clarence House, London, England. And yeah, it was kind of a big deal, as the second child and only daughter of Queen Elizabeth, then just to Prince Elizabeth and Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. Little Anne's birth came with a 21-gun salute in Hyde Park. Starting in 1970, Anne's first boyfriend was the wealthy and handsome Andrew Parker Bowes, but the relationship was filled with scandal. You see, when he and Anne started dating, Andrew had just broken up with his on-again, off-again flame, the blonde Spitfire Camilla Parker, Queen Consort of the United Kingdom. In fact, some royal insiders even claim that Andrew actually cheated on Camilla with Anne, but that's not even the end of the ridiculous story. In a super awkward move, Anne's brother Prince Charles went and started dating Camilla at the same time that Anne was taking Andrew to bed. Yup, that's totally healthy, well-adjusted sibling behavior. Anne and Charles' vaguely gross couple swapping ended horribly. Camilla and Andrew eventually get back together again, leaving the royal siblings high, dry, and with a lot of embarrassing egg on their faces. Yet apparently, Anne didn't learn much from the experience because her love life only got rockier. Growing up a royal isn't all that it is cut out to be. When Anne was just a toddler, Elizabeth became Queen of England, a job title that obviously took the girl's mother away from her during her most formative years. Most of Anne's younger life was spent in the company of nannies and governesses rather than with her mother. Nonetheless, Anne may be closest with Queen Elizabeth out of most of her siblings, where her brother Prince Charles once infamously complained that it was inevitably the nursery staff who taught him to play and looked after his emotional needs. Anne bonded with Queen Elizabeth over their shared love of horses from a young age. Being a princess of Great Britain is super weird, and Anne's childhood took bizarre to the next level. When she was young, the palace created a special temporary girl guides company whose literal only goal was letting Anne socialize with normal girls. As soon as she went off to boarding school, the group disbanded. Yup, totally normal. Good job, guys. Few people know that the good Prince Anne has something of a criminal record. Actually, she has multiple infractions. In 2001, she was speeding and earned herself a hefty £400 fine. The very next year, she landed in even hotter water when her dog Dottie went rogue and viciously attacked two children in Windsor Great Park, landing her another £500 fine. In December 2019, her royal rudeness found herself in the headlines again. A viral video seemed to show Anne defiantly shrugging her shoulders when Queen Elizabeth asked her if she wanted to meet the President of the United States. People immediately praised Anne's superb shade, but the real story is much different. Although Andrew Parker Bowes and Prince Anne never made it as a couple, they have remained good friends over the years. In 2010, Anne even attended the funeral of Parker Bowes' second wife Rosemary, and people spotted her comforting her ex on the tragic day. Anne was definitely not your typical princess. While most girls dream of a royal life full of tulle and tiaras, Anne wanted nothing to do with those baubles, even though she could actually have them. As their father Prince Philip once quipped about his horse-loving tomboy daughter, if it doesn't fart or eat hay, she isn't interested. In 1968, Anne met the handsome and upper horsey Mark Phillips at a party for equestrians. In case you didn't know, being into horses is like catnip for the royal family, particularly for Anne, who was a horse girl to her core. The prince was reportedly smitten from the start, but they were doomed to a heartbreaking end. At first, though, Anne and Mark seemed to have a total fairy tale. On November 14, 1973, the lovebirds married in an extravagant ceremony. Not only did Anne get pulled to Westminster Abbey in an exquisite carriage, the royal family declared her big day as a special bank holiday for the public. Prince Anne and Mark Phillips' marriage was unconventional in a lot of ways, which we will get to, but one surprise decision was Mark's choice not to take on any titles when he married Anne. Because of this, their children Peter and Zara Phillips were also born without courtesy titles and do not go by anything particularly fancy. For all the pomp and circumstance surrounding the wedding, not everyone in Anne's family was gung-ho about the couple. Reportedly, Anne's brother Prince Charles had a cruel nickname for Phillips. He called his new brother-in-law Fogg for a vicious reason to Charles. Phillips was thick and wet. Anne's notorious rudeness is an equal opportunity offender. She wasn't even afraid to insult the Prime Minister of Great Britain. According to one biographer, when Anne was introduced to Prime Minister Tony Blair's wife Cherry, the women told Anne to call her Cherry. Anne's chilly reply, "Actually, let's not go that way. Let's stick to Mrs. Blair, shall we?" The no-frills Prince Anne and the girly Princess Diana were very different people, and there were whispers that the two secretly despised each other. Even after Prince Charles married Diana, making her Anne's official sister-in-law, a sharp-tongued Anne reportedly called Diana the dog behind her back. Ouch. Anne is a thoroughly modern princess and spent much of her youth racking up firsts for the royal family. She was even the first member of English royalty to make an appearance as a contestant on a television quiz show. Anne graced the BBC panel show A Question of Sport with her presence in February 5, 1987. Prince Anne has many different titles. The most common one is a Princess Royal, but a few people know why she is called that. Princess Royal is actually the official title for the eldest daughter of the British monarch. The styling goes all the way back to 1642, when King Charles' wife Henrietta insisted that her oldest daughter get her own fancy moniker. Gotta love women supporting other women. Sadly, being a royal horse didn't save Doublet from tragedy or Princess Anne from heartbreak. After taking her to the European Championship, Doublet suffered a broken leg in 1974 while training at Windsor Castle. Unable to save the leg or give him a good quality of life, Anne had no choice but to put her beloved horse down. "I'm not crying, you are crying."